Welcome back, everybody. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna. Well, here we go again. The live review show is back. Last weekend, me and Jez killed it, so I'll give us a little bit of a pat on the back there. So it's back in demand, and after a result just then, for us Parra fans, we are coming off the back fence. The hat's on backwards tonight because that means business, and there's not a single jersey inside. Apart from Jez, I'm surprised you didn't have your Newcastle jersey on because we will get to them, but they did a very, very good job Friday night and got away with one in the absolute weather. But look, normally I go around and introduce the boys, etc. I get all that sort of happening. I'm not doing that tonight because straight away I'm throwing at Adam, who is ready to absolutely rip and tear Arthur out for us Parra fans. Get in the comments. We'll feature everything as we always do. We're going to try and have this as a quicker episode, so we'll be in and out. Adam, take it away.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to the Newcastle Jets. As you can see, I'm rocking a Jets jersey because I actually won today, which is a very rare occasion. So we'll celebrate the wins first. On to Parramatta. Well, fuck. I don't even know where to start. Like, there's anger, there's emotion, there's frustration, which is more than I can say for the 17 blokes out there tonight. They didn't look like they gave a fucking shit, to be honest. They did not look like they cared. It's gone on long enough. We spoke about it, obviously, the other week. We spoke about it in the Talking Parra one. I've been a big supporter of Brad Arthur over the years, but things have got to change at the club. Everyone can see, the commoner can see, like anybody sitting there watching a game can see, whether you're a massive football fan or not, there's clearly issues. There's clearly people that don't give a shit about the jersey. There's clearly blokes that shouldn't be there playing football, and there's clearly something wrong. Yet he continues to put the same team that was evident as last week in a game where they, let's say it, like they weren't embarrassed by the Tigers, but they were beaten by a team that come last 2 years in a row at home in a game that they should be fired up for. To go down to Canberra and look, as we know, I tipped Canberra to come last. I won't hide from that. I still don't think they'll play finals football. I don't think they're a finals team. I don't think they're a top 8 team. But they made us look like reserve graders, honestly. Like, we could have put our reserve grade team out there, probably would have got beat by 60 or 70, but at least it would have made sense then. Because you got blokes like Sivo rushing off the wing, they've been doing things. There's like, I know we miss Mitch, I know we miss Moses, like no doubt about that. There's no excuses for poor defense through the middle and lazy efforts. And it's the same lazy pricks every single week. They produced the same shit last year. We gave some of them the benefit of the doubt because of injuries, but he just won't recognise it. He'll look at the game and he'll go, okay, Sivo scored 2 tries. Oh, let's keep Sivo there. Don't worry about the fucking 4 that he let in. Like, what's usually our strong side got carved up because players aren't held accountable at the club. Players aren't held accountable for their jersey. There's no pressure coming through from reserve grade because we can't seem to transition players from jersey flag to reserve grade. And the reserve grade they get beat 30-6 again. They haven't won a game all year. They haven't really been in a game all year, which is disgraceful. There's no pressure coming through because we've invested so much of our cap on these big players and these other meant to be big players that can't turn up. And it doesn't seem to be better. One way to get better is to essentially burn it all down. And that's what I mean is get rid of the coach, get rid of everyone else, get through, start again. Start making players accountable and put them on notice. Because if not, it's going to be a very long year and it's going to be a very long 10 weeks without Mitchell Moses that's left or whatever it is.
You're absolutely
Go the
right.
Jets.
It is actually pathetic what was dished up tonight. And look, you look at it and it was literally Moses and Cartwright was not in the team. So it's pretty much a full-strength lineup. And to dish up that is absolute dog shit. Mika, I wanted Martin double up here. So I'm going to you first before I tee off, and I'll let Jez, as the non-new Parra fan around, talk some sense probably without the passion and the pride which is lacking from our playing group. What do you got?
Well, after that, I've decided I'm just going to drown myself in my sorrows. So I'm going to try a little trick that I like to call the strawpedo. One straw,
Drink
one
responsibly,
beer.
guys.
Oh, down the front. Oh.
What was the purpose of the straw there? It did nothing.
To let the air out so it goes down faster. That was so good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Last time I tried that, it was a lot more successful.
Mika, all right, I'll let you calm down and get your thoughts, Mika. Jez, before I tee off as well, what did you make of it tonight? Just because I want to hear from someone who doesn't have the passion and the fire going right now, and to see if it was as bad as it looked for us Parra fans.
It was as bad as you guys are saying it was. It looked like a bunch of men versing boys out there. The way that they just went straight through the middle, it reminded me of the night when they got their 3 spoons in a row. You were wondering how much are we going to lose this by, and that's what it looked like tonight. You were just thinking, when is the scoring going to stop? Because they just kept going through the middle. I think Mika put a little message in the group chat saying that Danny Levi needs to score a try. He was going to score a try every game or something, and then sure enough, he jumps over and away we go. So no, it was as bad as it seems. It's bizarre, and I know how it feels being a Knight supporter, being a one-man team, but I didn't think missing Mitchell Moses would make your team that bad, because they were. And I put a message in the group saying, who else are you missing? Because surely there's other people, but no, it turns out you're missing Moses and one other. Is it Cartwright that you're missing?
Yeah,
Like,
Can I?
The thing is,
Can I just
before,
quickly on that,
before you-
Jez?
we look like a
I just want to
genuine,
raise my
3 weeks ago. We look like a genuine competition threat with Moses there.
You
So,
did.
like, it can't just be the missing. Something else has got to have changed. It's got to be something to do with decisions being made or something, because the attitude is completely changed to turn up.
I think what it shows is that our pack that gets all this praise constantly cannot play off the back of a big meterage kicking game. They're getting towed up when they shouldn't be, and it's happened every now and then over the years, but I think it's really showing them up for what they are. They've usually walked through it without having to put the fire in their belly and fight for it, because Moses just kicks them out of trouble and they get on the front foot.
I did want to quickly jump in with Jez. When he mentioned that Mitch Moses and being that one-man team, you know what I've realised, and he's so important to our team and what we do and how we play. But the thing is as well, and this comes back to Brad Arthur, and there's a lot in the comments saying Brad Arthur out, etc. And I 100% I am now on board with that, have been now for probably 6 to 12 months. He has also helped this basically unfold how he has. He's chosen a 5'8", who is one of the best 5'8s in the competition, to try and put the pressure on him to control the game, which he cannot do, to save the life of him. Everyone knows he can't, apart from our head coach. So why he's in the role, I've got no fucking idea, because he's clueless. I've got no idea why. Actually, I do have an idea why, and I'll let everyone know now. The reason Ethan Saunders isn't in the team, or Saunders, however you want to pronounce it, is because he's signing with the Canberra Raiders, and Brad Arthur has a bee in his bonnet, can't swallow his pride and put the team first, and will choose to play someone out of position. Now, he's got 2 players out of position in Dill Brown and Blaze Talangi in our halves, the 2 most important positions on the field, apart from fullback, which is Gutho, who's getting overplayed galore as well. Because he won't swallow his pride, make one change. He should have just replaced Moses with Sanders. Everything else stays the same. Everyone's roles stay the same. And we continue on how we play. We would have won last week against the Tigers with Saunders at halfback, and it hasn't happened. Like, it's just an absolute joke. That's the start of it. The club itself, Mark O'Neill, I have no doubt about it. Last weekend when the Tigers beat us, he would have had this little smirk on his face, or in his little head, just little smirks and smiles, because that's his club. He's a West Tigers player. Good work. Go back there. You have not made any decisions for this club in the last 2 to 3 years that's actually benefited the club. We haven't been growing any of our junior base. We haven't got stronger juniors. We haven't got better New South Wales Cup or reserve graders. The club is currently an absolute joke. To be a one club, to be known as a one player team is absolutely embarrassing. Like, it shouldn't be that way. Mika, have you got your thoughts back after your beer skull? You can keep going if you want.
It looks like he's going again.
I will go
He's got his
again.
straw ready.
Go on, no, go again now. Go again now before you talk. We don't want you to
Here's
talk.
to
We wanna see your
Mika.
stuff. Can you make this one
Redemption.
better?
Glug,
Oh,
glug,
oh.
glug, glug, glug. At least it wasn't
That-
down his shirt this time. There you go. That was much better.
That bitch can swallow.
I will say on Saunders, however you want to say it, I don't think he's really set the world alight in reserve grade yet, though. He's had 2 trials. Reserve grade's getting flogged. So
He's
I
playing
can
the
understand why he's
studs.
a bit hesitant. Yeah, but
Like,
it doesn't
it's-
matter. To
He's
me, it
playing
doesn't
with
matter.
studs.
If he's that good, he should be standing out at that level as well.
We don't need him to be that
He
good. We
can't-
need him to organise
Yeah.
play and kick. All he has to do is kick the ball and organise play.
I'm not saying he
is what he
shouldn't be
does.
in the team. I'm just saying he hasn't stood out at lower level yet either. That's all.
No one in our team has. The
You're
other
right,
thing
yeah.
is Matt Arthur should be our hooker next week because Lustig's shut the bed now. And I know
Lustig
Adam was
is
giving it
starting
to
to
me the
annoy me.
last few weeks about it, but last 2 weeks he has been dog shit. And that
Yeah,
is back
Lustig-
to what I originally said in the offseason. It was a dud signing. Matt Arthur is the best hooker at the club. Is he raw? Yes, he will. People will say, oh, no, he's an Arthur. Don't put him in. Sorry to say, he's the best hooker at our club. And next weekend, he should be in the 9. Sanders should be in the 7. As raw as they are, they're the best 2 in that position at the moment that are fit. Play them.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I still would have had Sanders in, but Lussig's just annoying the shit out of me too. It's all these little short pass balls to forwards that get smashed.
It's since Moses has been missing though. Lustig is overplaying, and so is Gutherson. I guess Gutherson probably a couple of errors as well, but the effort is there. And same as Dylan Brown. Although he's not capable of organising shit tonight, you can't say he didn't try his ass off and cover in defence and stuff like that. Like, there's not many players you could walk off that field and say, right, they tried. There was probably 2 or 3 players, and 2 of them are from our spine. It's just the decisions are they're being forced to overplay their hand because of the lack of experience. Like, Blaze is ready to play centre. He's not ready to play 5'8", okay? He's played one first-grade game. He gets chucked in. It's a pressure situation because Blaze isn't just standing in for Dylan Brown in the halves. He's standing in for Mitch Moses, who we know is a New South Wales, would have been the New South Wales 5'8" this year. Right, he's obviously played for New South Wales before. You can say he's the incumbent New South Wales half because he played the last half game there. So that's the pressure on that kid. So he's ruined his confidence there because he hasn't got the ability to do anything now. Doesn't look confident being not like he did in his first game. So you've got 2 players overplaying. They don't need to do that if you get a genuine half. This gets in and kicks. All he has to do is set up play, kick the ball. It's as simple as that. That needs to be the job set to him. Everyone else needs to back the fuck off, play their normal role, and they'll get back to being a better football team.
Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, Jez, I want to ask you, you're the CEO of Parramatta. Brie walks into your office tomorrow. You say we need to have a chat. Is it pack your bags, see you later, move on? Or are you giving him another chance?
You've got 3 games. You've got 3 games to improve on anything. If there's rubbish that's happening behind doors, you've got 3 games to sort it out. If not, then that conversation is, I'm sorry, my friend, but your time here is done. You are gone.
Yeah.
I hope he gets 2 more games at least because I want to see.
I gave him 3.
Well, you got the Cowboys game, and I know the Cowboys are at the top of the table, but I still don't think they're playing that great of football. They've been touched on the dick with an easy draw. They had a very easy draw.
They'll still put 40 on us. They
should.
put 30 or 40 on us.
They should the way we're playing. Then you back that up, and we've got the Dolphins game the week after in Darwin. We love Darwin. But the only reason I want to see the Darwin game is to see how many drink bottles Brad Arthur can drink one more time. It'll be the last one, surely.
Here's a League of Inches tip. Do not tip Parramatta until Moses is back. Don't do it.
We won't win another game, will we? So
I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to going to Magic Round and watching the execution of Parramatta for the second time in my life at Magic Round. Fuck me. Where's your gig at Sunday, Michael? Can I come home with you?
Saturday.
we'll
Talk about
we'll
that.
We'll have to have a few that day to get us through that game, I reckon. So I'll be up, hopefully going to the toilet more often, and then I'll be actually watching the game.
I'm going to have to hook some heroin or something in my arm to get me through. Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Whoa.
That
will kill you.
Sorry, morphine. I meant
Not even
morphine,
9
not
o'clock.
heroin. Morphine. I want to be floating with the fairies.
Adam, just
Jesus.
before we move on and talk about a few of
Chasing
the
the
other
dragon.
big things this weekend, like Latrell Mitchell. So get ready, guys. It gets bigger from here. We're going to make changes this week, whether it's personnel, head office, or whatever. If you could make any decisions at the moment, what would be some of the ones you're making immediately?
Hang on. I've got Mark O'Neill on the phone. He's going to tell me what he wants.
He
Sorry.
doesn't
No,
know.
we're not doing that. It's my decision. Look, I'm dropping Sevo straight away. Defensively has to be held accountable. There's no doubt about that. Lomax comes in next week, hopefully. Dear God, Lomax comes in next week. Even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. But Sevo's gone. Simonson's the wing. I'm putting Blaze back to the centres. If he's not going to bring in Sanders, then he has to bring RC in half back. As simple as that. Regan Campbell-Gillard's out for sure. He'll miss a couple of weeks for that. He's got to
Left the
start.
ground.
He's got to start Paulo now. Greg's underdone. He's not ready yet. There's obviously a reason he's been playing in the New South Wales Cup. But the back line is what needs to be fixed. We need to have some kind of attacking thing. Look, I'm probably starting Moretti at this stage as well. I don't know what I'm doing. They don't look fit enough. Honestly, they don't look fit enough. None of the forwards look fit enough and ready to go. Regan Campbell-Gillard's the only one who just was frustrated and did something stupid and got himself suspended almost twice. I know the other one was a bit unlucky, but he still come in looking for it. So that's the backline changes I'm making. Our backline's Gutherson, Russell, Penasini, Blaze, Simonson, RC at 7, Brown at 5'8". That's all you can really do. He's not going to bring Sanders in. Simple as that.
You got something, Mika?
No, I'd be doing the same. I'm happy to not see Sivo in an Eels jersey ever again.
Tell you what, though, this comment. If I was low max, I'd be staying.
Sorry, Jeremy,
with the Dragons.
Can you turn up for a second, Jeremy? Can you stand up for a second? Just show me that jersey.
I've hit my techno stage as well. I'm in the strobe era.
That's the next. That's the next jersey we'll see Mike Casino in. Hopefully, I'll support him for Leeds. He'll be good over there.
Look, there's obviously some other things that happened this weekend that we will talk about, it being the League of Inches, not the Parra podcast. We will get back to Parramatta, guys. So if we have 5 or so minutes at the end, we will do a few more questions if anyone wants to vent even more to do so. First one I want to talk about, and we're not going to go through every single, just some of the big talking points to get them out of the way. So the Dogs versus the Roosters game. Credit to the Bulldogs for winning that game, but what the hell were they doing? How the hell they didn't win that game by 40 points? I've got no idea. I'm going to sort of run through some of the stuff that's actually happened in this game. So first of all, the Bulldogs run out. Me and Jez wet ourselves because they look beautiful.
Ooh,
that is
so good.
One of the nicest jerseys I've seen in the modern era. That was
collar,
spectacularly done.
Oh, got to change my pants. But sorry,
I'm not wearing any.
Speaking of pants, they had their retro shorts on as well. So it was the whole kit. Oh,
yeah. And then they started out playing like the 04 Dogs. Like Kickow was playing like he was Willie Mason cross Sonny Bill Williams. He was possessed. I was thinking, what's going on here? And then Teddy gets knocked out. Oh, sorry, Walker was HIA first, so they've lost their halfback already for the game. About 5 minutes later, Teddy tries to tackle Kickow, who he's channeled himself into Willie Mason and has got just clean bowled, knocked out, gone for at least next week, and who knows with his concussion history. Then we've got Michael Jennings is activated as the 18th man, so we've got the Silver Man back and his grey hair. I thought he was giving the game away. He was sitting there 18th man. He actually got to play majority of this game after what had actually happened. Dom Young's sent off for his high tackle on Blake Taft, which meant Blake Taft went off as well. What a game of rugby league. And the fact that the Roosters were down as...
Dom Young's pecs. Oh. Because his shirt was ripped. That's all my wife was like, yes. Oh my God, look at his chest. I was like, I know, it's okay. It's all right.
100%. Now, look, I don't know where to start with this game. Like the Dom Young incident, I think he only got 3 weeks in the end for that one. Is that fair, Jez, or do you expect a little bit more after the send-off? I mean,
the only thing I think that saved him from getting more weeks is that he didn't completely leave the ground. So both feet weren't off the ground, though it was a terrible shot, and you could see what he's trying to do. Dom Young isn't that player inclined. I don't think he went out there to take his head off. He got it completely wrong. But I think that's probably the only thing that saved him is that he didn't actually launch his whole body into the tackle where we've seen those ones happen. Jared Waerea-Hargreaves. So probably that's why he's only got, 3 weeks?
The only thing that saved him for 3 weeks was the fact he had that Roosters logo on his jersey. He did that at Newcastle last week. He gets 5 to 6 easily.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do that at Newcastle because we're not like that.
Look, the Roosters won the second half, 26 points to 4. That was with a send-off, and they actually lost Victor as well for a sin bin. So there was times there it was
that wasn't a sin bin
against 11, and no, that was absolutely disgraceful. That was not a hip drop. and they absolutely royally, what's the time? 8:50 fucked up. So
Yeah.
that was a disgusting decision. Adam, I know the Bulldogs won the game, but surely they're coming out of that game going, what the hell was that? What? They should have lost in the end. They honestly should have lost. They deserved to lose.
Yeah, you're right. And people saying, what happened to the Bulldogs? You touched on it before. They were wearing those 04 Bulldogs jerseys. They started thinking about the off-season trip to Coffs Harbour, and it all went to shit for them. But no, we can't say stuff like that, guys. We can't say stuff like that. So, look, obviously the Roosters in the second half, they played that classic catch-up footy when you're down 26, whatever the score was, 26-0. It's that kind of razzle-dazzle footy and that kind of, you take those risks to kind of get through the line. And I think the Dogs aren't a great team. Like, they literally were up 18-0 because of Kikau. Like, Kikau was absolutely destroying them down that edge, that left edge or the right edge of the Roosters. And
he was in Penrith mode for once.
He was. They switched him. They found, like Dane Gagai, they found the switch on the back and they switched him into Penrith mode. And, yeah, he turned around and obviously that's the reason they're up. As soon as the Roosters worked how to defend that, and Kikau went off too, didn't he? With an injury a bit later in the second half. But obviously they fixed it up before he went off. And as soon as they kind of controlled that, they found themselves back in control of the game. And the Bulldogs, look, they're a long way off being, I guess, their complete mode in a way. And they'll learn how to shut those games out a bit better than they did.
Mika, the Roosters, we obviously just spoke about the Radley incident. What were your thoughts on that one? Because I honestly feel like if it was anyone other than Victor Radley, it wasn't even a penalty. Because it's Victor Radley and the referees see it's him and the bunker sees it's him, they just go in on him. And it's like, I feel for him because that was just, yeah.
Yeah, we saw another example tonight. I think it was Simonson. If Simonson was Radley, he would have been in the bin for that one tonight, I reckon. Like, and I don't know how they get it wrong. It's pretty obvious what they're looking for, but I think a lot of credit isn't going to the Roosters here. I thought they were like, they had no right to get back into the game. And at one stage they scored a try with 11 players on the field, I think. Like, that's huge. How do you strip a defensive line when you got 2 players less than them? Like, that's insane. So, yeah, I think that goes to show a bit like where the Bulldogs are at. Like, yeah, they're going to have these flourishes because they've got all these players in the back line, but they still can't defend well like they should, and they still don't have the forwards to keep them in a game and punch them through the middle. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that game.
The producer, I actually don't think there has been a time before where 2 players who were out due to drugs have returned and played each other in an NRL game. I think that was the first time and probably the last time we'll see it. So I don't know if the NRL would have actually liked to see that, but
to be honest, I'm actually surprised Jennings is allowed to play footy ever again, given the stuff that happened in court with his missus. Like, that's a lot worse than drugs, and they sort of settled and it was a bit hush-hush. And obviously I don't know the full details, but what I did see, I was like, you're not a very good guy, Jennings.
Now, there's another topic to get everyone fired up for. We're about to go there, but first, I want to give our mate here, Jez, a little bit of the floor to talk about his Newcastle Knights pissing down rain. So were you at the game, Jez, first of all? Because I don't know if you were, but there was definitely some Jeremy representation at the ground, which shout out. We'll get to that one. But I thought the Newcastle Knights performance in a pissing down torrential rain was actually tremendous. They played a great wet weather football style game.
They did. They did everything that they needed to do to win that game. They played to the conditions where the Dragons were still playing dry weather footy. And no, I wasn't there. I am not as brave as the other Ford men. And I have a little photo that I'm madly trying to upload here that we can show. But my dad has been a member for 30 plus years. So he was there. It's just there ready. So if you have a look at the light pole, go all the way down to the bottom of the light pole. That is my dad sitting underneath an umbrella in shorts and a T-shirt because he is foolish and will not move from his spot. That's where we sit every game. He's like, you know what? I don't care of the weather. I'm there sitting in my spot.
Can I make a little highlight of this? I took this photo. This photo was taken before the game. All right, it was taken pretty early in the game, I think. Now, it got worse. Like, this was when it was raining. It was like a cyclone. The low pressure system come in. The wind was going everywhere. It was chaotic. there's not one person by the end of the game left on that hill but him. And he, like, I don't think he clapped any tries. I don't think he could. I don't think he could.
No, he's holding onto his umbrella for dear life.
He's holding on to his umbrella. I was literally waiting for him to go floating off with the umbrella flying through the air, Mary Poppins style. But to his credit, he sat there the whole game, and like I felt like going down and giving him a cuddle to make him warm. But I wouldn't even want to go out in the conditions. It was crazy.
It was crazy. And watching that game and the Ponga try at the end there, I just thought, far out, that looks like fun. It helped that we were winning. But to be able to slide from the 10-metre line on your ass to then score a try, that's the best thing ever. That is park footy at its best. But no, the Knights played well. And see what happens when we get the right people in the right positions. Hastings should not have been dropped. I know he doesn't like us, and I know he sends us messages in our DMs, but I actually like you, Hastings. We were rooting for you the whole time.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep hating us.
Give a shout out. Give a
keep
shout
winning
out,
games.
Jackson, next time you're in Rebel Sport, just give us a smile and a wave, not a death stare, mate. Obviously a big listener of the podcast, but as Jeremy said, look, we did say your halves are reserve grade quality, and the combination of you two are reserve grade quality when you're with Campbell. Just going to say
we're
that.
Talking directly to Jackson Hastings right now, are we?
Talking to Jackson, but that doesn't mean you can't be a first grade quality half, Jackson, with another half there. Like it's gamble that drags you down, mate. It's as simple as that. So all right, next time you see me, don't try and drag me into a Rockhampton Street club because I don't want a piece of it. All right, so just smile and wave. All right, thanks, Jackson. I didn't even notice it. It was the missus that knows. She goes, she didn't know who he was. She goes, who's that bloke that just death stared you? I would turn around. I was like, oh, that's Jackson Hastings. So, yep, there we go.
Look, there's a lot of comments coming in here about your dad, Jez. So I might have to get that photo. We'll put it up on the page as well. You get right behind him, give him some support, give him a like, give him some love hearts, and that's a tremendous effort. They say the Nova Cashians are the most passionate fan bases. The most passionate fan base in the comp, and I tell you what, that was right up there. And Adam was there, I believe, but he was up in the stands just sipping on his champagne. So off he goes. It wasn't really in his corporate box that he gets that he doesn't share with anyone else. But last topic we want to talk about tonight that will get everyone else fired up, I'm sure of it. Latrell Mitchell. Mika, I'm going to throw to you first because my main question with Latrell Mitchell at the moment is, does he actually want to be here? And when I say here, I mean rugby league, because to me, he's not doing anything to help himself, his character. I know what's going to pop up, and I don't want to mention the R word, but that's what's going to pop up. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just got to do with his attitude towards himself, the game, others. He just does not look like he gives a shit. My question is, why the hell is he still playing rugby league? Because he looks so unhappy.
I just think he's taking on too much that he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to be commenting on everything that's going on in the big wide world. I actually am a fan of Latrell. I think when he wants to play rugby league, he can turn a game like that. Like everyone forgets what he did while he's at the Roosters in his best position at centre, by the way. I just think, he's got too much outside noise he's trying to do with instead of just playing football. If they can dial him back in and go, mate, you're here to play footy. Let's play footy. I think we'll still see the best of him. He's still going to be picked at centre for New South Wales. Like we all know that's going to happen. And I hope he gets his head right before then. But yeah, I think South's issues are bigger than Latrell. But when you have a player that's as what's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing as Latrell, he's always going to get the most attention. So.
He is. Jez, what are your thoughts around Latrell? What just instantly pops up in your head whenever Latrell Mitchell is mentioned?
It's just frustration because he is so good. And it's nothing personal against Latrell, but the little sneaky things that he's doing now, it doesn't need to be in his game. I get playing with aggression and I get trying to raise the tempo for your team, but giving away penalties like that, the way that he struck out at Sean Johnson, I called it live. I said he should be in the bin. I don't care if he's holding the ball. You cannot hit someone in the head with your elbow on purpose and get away with it. So, go on, Michael.
Well, didn't a Knights player get like 12 weeks for an elbow last year, 8 weeks or something? Was that year before?
I've forgotten about last year. Last year,
yeah. But remember, was it? He was running past him in the defensive line and just bang. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I reckon Latrell's like. I don't think the outcome was as bad as that elbow, but I reckon Latrell's elbow had a lot more intent and was a lot more aggressive about it.
All Latrell stuff is quite simply, it comes from frustration. And it comes from frustration, which comes from pressure. You look at Latrell at the Roosters, he's not a big game. He's not a big 20 touch player a game. He needs 6 or 7 touches in a game in the centers. Now, those 6 or 7 touches, he's going to probably get 3 or 4 quality touches in there, like he did at the Roosters. Could score a couple of tries, could set up a couple of tries with those touches. You put him at fullback, by the time he gets to his, let's say, 13th touch on and is expected to kind of win the game, he's absolutely off his feet. That's not the kind of player he is. He's a power player. He's a power centre. He's not one of your flashy centers that's going to step and beat them. He's going to run over top people. If they want to save Latrell's career, I don't care what he does off the field. Like, I try to stay away from that as much as I can, but they need to put him back in the centers, because if he's playing good football, the other shit will disappear, because there won't be as much pressure on him. There won't be as much talk about him. He'll get rid of that shit out of his game because he'll be happy playing football again.
Someone in the comments has come to the rescue there, Mika. It was Mitch Barnett, so it must have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That led with the elbow. Yeah, it is. It's him getting frustrated. It's him trying to just play with absolute aggression, but it's just ill-directed. And it's similar. It just echoes of Cody Walker. Like, that's what Cody Walker does. And if Latrell and Cody are good mates, or if they look up to each other, vice versa, it's something out of their game that they just, it frustrates the hell out of you, because they are both so talented, yet they revert to this just grubby sort of lash out aggression, and they get it wrong every time. And that's what makes them lose games. And that's what loses South Sydney games. You have people in those teams that are trying their absolute freckle off, and then you get guys doing these just bonehead plays that lets everyone down. And then you throw all the outside noise that's happening as well. Like Latrell getting booed every time he touches the ball, that's going to affect you. Of course it's going to affect you. And it's being referred to our Adam Goods moment. So when Adam Goods, what happened with him in the AFL, every time he went near the ball, there was boos. So to be already making draws between those two things is going to weigh heavily on you. And it's not an excuse for him to be playing that way, but you can kind of, it's really hard to drown out that noise. And it's really hard to not recognize every time you touch the ball, you are getting booed. And it seems by their own crowd as well, people are saying. So I don't know.
And the thing, me and Adam actually had a conversation. It was early this year. I believe it was off air about.
Just be mindful in the comments there too, you loyal viewers. Don't want to jump down any rabbit holes here.
We had a conversation, myself and Adam, about Latrell Mitchell at the start of the year. And we both said we actually felt for him then, because as you mentioned, Jess, every time he was touching the footy and stuff, he was getting booed. And we thought, I think it was towards the end of last year or something, or the start of this year. And we just thought it was a bit uncalled for, and it sort of let him have a go to sort of get to himself this year. But since then, he's done nothing but made me eat my own words, because he's not doing anything to help himself. And I don't know why someone's not just grabbing him and just shaking him and just saying, mate, snap out of it. You either want to be here and you actually want to be a rugby league player, because you can go down as one of the best players we've seen. If he does go to centre, I 100% agree with that. I think he is a much better centre than a fullback. But that's his sort of, his motor isn't a fullback, and it's going to continue to hurt him as a player, because he's not that natural fullback anymore. They've got someone there, Jai Gray, who's going to fit in perfectly for him and be the exact style of footy player at fullback that the South Sydney Rabbitohs need. They just need to put him in there to obviously get a chance now with the suspensions. I'd leave the kid in there for the rest of the year. For mine, South Sydney, along with probably Parramatta, their season's already gone. Let some of these youngsters come in and have a go. It seems crazy to say after 5 weeks, but the way they're playing, the playing group is, you sort of blood some of these players in at the moment. You just let them have a go with things. I put a post out there today. A lot of people have been commenting on it. Sam Burgess last year was obviously kicked out of the club, basically sacked for having an opinion that was pretty much putting JD, the coach, and these sorts of players, Latrell, Cody, Damien Cook, all on notice, saying that they weren't good enough. They weren't playing with passion, etc. He was booted out of the club for this. I've got no doubt in my mind right now, Russell Crowe, etc., sitting back going, goodness me, we've got this one wrong, because Sam Burgess was right all along. He picked it, and they didn't like the fact that he was calling them out. Adam, there's a comment before about who's going to get sacked first, JD or Brad Arthur. You can answer that one, but then I want you to answer another one for me. Is Sam Burgess the right man moving forward for South Sydney?
It's a race against time for both of them, isn't it? Like, I guess the thing in favour of JD is the time he's had at South Sydney isn't as long as what Brad Arthur has. And Brad Arthur, like, you know, look, if you run through quickly why he kept his jobs at Parramatta, like, obviously the time he came in, the club had just won back-to-back spoons. Then we had the salary cap stuff, which obviously took a bit to get over, and he took him to consistent finals. That probably saved him in 2018 when the wooden spoon was presented to us. That really never should have been after finishing the top 4 the year before. And then pretty much consistent back-to-back, obviously, finals appearance, and the grand final was probably what saved him last year. But I've been told round 8 to 10, if things don't improve by round 8 to 10, obviously, is when he will be going. If JD can survive that long, obviously, another thing. But I think Brad probably gets the boot first if Parramatta can't improve, which he's probably going to use the excuse of losing his halfback or something. But like I said, attitude's got to change and players got to be held accountable. As for Sam Burgess, no, he's not ready. It's as simple as that. Like, he's had 5 games over in the Super League. He's been an assistant coach for that. 5 games of a head coach in the Super League, which, let's be honest, is the reserve grade standard comp. It's not quite obviously the level of what. But look, the top 3 or 4 teams are obviously very competitive with the NRL, but some of the teams he's playing every week would not get it anywhere near to most of our teams over here. He's not ready. But it asks the question, who else is around? Like, you talk about both coaches with Parramatta. Parramatta sack someone now. They're putting a rookie coach in. If any club is to sack a coach in the next 3 or 4 weeks,
Wayne Bennett,
your season's over. He's not available next week. We're talking about the rest of the year.
He's not ready yet.
Let's be honest. Like, you can say what you want. You can say both teams are done. But the Knights proved last year with an easy run home, which South Sydney have. Parramatta don't have, but South Sydney have. With an easy run home, anything is possible. You win your last 10, 11 games, you scrape a win here and there, you can play finals football. Okay, not saying you're going to win a comp, but you can play finals football. And most coaches will survive if they play finals football. So you sign a rookie coach, you're admitting your season's done, and you take that risk. It's not a very good look to your fans, for one thing. I can't think of anyone.
There was a comment before. Would Sam Burgess actually want to come back after the way he was treated, do you reckon? Or would you if you were Sam Burgess?
Depends how much he loves the club. If he's loves for the club compared to the people that are there now, he will, because he'll want to come back and, A, improve his club that he loves, not the people there, and B, show the people that booted him out that they were wrong.
Depends how much of a clean out there is too.
Yeah.
Because, I was about to mention that, Jez, because obviously he went hard at some of that senior playing group, and if he comes in and the senior playing group's still there, I don't think anything's changing while they're there, because they won't want to play for Sam. Even though I reckon what he's saying is 100% spot on, it's proven to be the case. They will just turn their nose up on him and just go, we're not playing for you.
Absolutely. But Adam's got a fair point too. Like, what other coaches are out there? There's plenty of lower clubs that would probably want a Brad Arthur or a Dimitri, given their, wherever you pronounce it, given their record. Like, Arthur's still produced a consecutive top 4 team, but I don't know. Who else do you get this year?
It's just
There's
you just fill the gap, don't you?
There's no one.
You've got to try and get, like, you got your Jason Taylor floating around the Bulldogs, obviously with a bit of experience. It's worked for us once before, got us to a finals.
Parra will have Trent Barrett.
You got Trent Barrett there. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but it's still an option with NRL experience to take you to the end of the year. You've got Jason Rolls, obviously, we know he wants the Melbourne job. He's an assistant coach. Where you look at who the assistant coaches are, like, where's Cartwright floating around at? Is he at North Queensland now, I believe?
I can't remember which coach's box I saw him pop up in. There's so many of them just popping up in the backgrounds of coaches' boxes. So you're right. There are people out there, but it's not going to be... It's a Band-Aid fix.
It's a Band-Aid fixed. And, I guess the only good thing about a Band-Aid fix, e.g. Jason Taylor at Parramatta in 2000 and... Was that 2007 he went there? 2000, yeah, it must have been. Yeah, like, he was playing for his career. They were playing for his coaching career. So he wanted to get the best out of the team so he could go into a coaching career, which ended with a punch to the face by Dave Palolongo. But, there is other options, as Graham said, Jim Dimmick, someone like that, someone who wants to prove a point that's obviously been there before. He's been there before. He's coached before. He obviously had that bit of the run at the Bulldogs, which was only stand-in, but obviously being at Parramatta. James has named another one, who I think will be probably the next NRL coach. I could see him more going to South Sydney, to be honest. There's some connections there, but someone's got to be prepared to take that risk.
The Some accountability needs to go to players here too, though, for both teams. Doesn't matter who
Absolutely.
you've got coaching, like we've already spoke about, excuse me, the couple of changes that you make to Parramatta's backline. You give a new coach that team and whatever team runs out for South. It's the players that still need to front up as well. Like, it's odd that you can get a team to go to a prelim one year and then the exact same team won't go to the 8th the next year. Like, there has to be something that comes down on the players there, not just the coach.
There also has to be stale. Like, there could be something stale within the club. Like, you need to make changes. Like, it's stupid to run the same things every year, or stupid to run something that doesn't work. Like, everyone can see that. And like, talking about Parramatta, talking about South Sydney at the start of the year, we could all see that Walker was past his best football last year. Now he's now running that team with Ilias not there. He's running that team. We could see that. Why can't their coach see it? You talk about Parramatta. We spoke about their depth. They didn't have the depth. We knew it was going to be an issue. We knew straight away they lost Moses. They were screwed. If we can see that, why can't someone in the club see that? And it comes down to the coach. It's as simple as that. The coach picks his squad. He obviously picks his top 30 squad based on what's working in the New South Wales Cup below. And if he can't get that right, the accountability comes back to him.
No, 100%. I agree with that one. Jez, I'll ask you the question as well. Brad Arthur or Jason Demetria, who is gone or sacked first this year, you reckon? I think they're the two front runners. So
I think it's got to be JD. And I think it's only purely because it's South Sydney, who are a massive club. And I think Brad Arthur still, though he hasn't won a premiership, he's still been very consistent in terms of taking his teams to finals and whatnot. And I just think there's so much more happening at South Sydney than there is at Parramatta, because there's just too many attitudes that stink at the moment, and it's been consistently like that. And just the style of play that they're doing, just as Adam said, we've highlighted a few areas of improvement, yet they don't seem to be making any sort of changes in those. So I just think that he's probably the one that's going to go first.
I think if Arthur goes, they won't sack him. They'll just be like, right, they'll see him out of the year and go, this is your last year. Parramatta are now actively looking for a coach for next year. I reckon that's how they'll do it.
And if we're putting down a marker who we want as coach next year, I'm putting my hand up right now and saying, what? Not for myself, obviously. I don't want that job. Wayne Bennett, I think bring him in. Look at what he's doing with the Dolphins roster, which is, I reckon, arguably the worst roster in the competition for the last year and a half. And he's doing some pretty good things with them. So I tell you what.
Get Nathan Brown in there. He can build quite a roster, and then you just get the right coach in to do the right things. So just get Nathan Brown in there to fill your roster for you and your depth, and then away you go.
Yeah.
If I'm Brad Arthur and I'm being told that I'm going next year at the end of the year, and after what I've done for the club and what he thinks he's done for the club, I'm going straight away.
Walking away now.
Yeah, but that's his decision then, though. It's not the club's.
And I don't want Bellamy. I know he's doing some wonderful things at the Dolphins, so we can say, but
what? But you mean Bennett?
Oh, sorry, Bennett. Yeah, I want Craig Bellamy. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm
Paramount
Bennett.
is the. Yeah, you're saying Bellamy as well.
Now you've done it to me. Bellamy.
Yeah.
I want Bellamy.
Yeah.
Give him anything he wants. I don't care what he wants. I don't care how much it costs.
Just call him Craig. You want Craig.
Give it to him and dangle the carrot and go, look, no other coach has been able to get us a premiership in 38 years, 36 years. I don't even know how long it is anymore. You want to prove you're the best coach in NRL history? Come and get Parramatta a premiership, because you will be like forever spoken about as being the one that did that. Like, get him there. Get him there now.
I'll forgive 2009.
Yep.
If he does that, it's all forgiven. It's gone. It's in the back of the end. But Parramatta is probably, I don't know who would be the richest club, but they're well up there with the revenue they make from that leagues club. Well, they put that in the perfect area of Sydney, that's for sure. But like, I've lost my train of thought, but Matt made a very valid point as well. Nathan Brown,
I've just been looking at Matt's comments, and he's hit some things here.
Yeah, like, you can be on the podcast, Matt. You are invited anytime you want. You're still in the group chat. But Nathan Brown is the Eels pathway coach. So there's a fair chance if Arthur does go that Brown does step in for the rest of the year.
I'd rather him than Barrett.
There's your depth. There's your Band-Aid.
Can Nathan, I know he's got a bad neck, but can he play 7 next week, Matt? Can you find that out, please? Probably do a better job than what Dylan Brown did tonight controlling your team. So would Barrett, actually. Fuck, our assistant coaches are better halfbacks than their halfback. Jesus Christ.
Oh, imagine the opposed sessions at the moment. So we'll get a few questions in before we go, guys. About 5 minutes, we'll be out in 5. First one I've got here, I'm going to direct this to Adam because he actually, out of all of us, I think he was the only one that didn't feature the Warriors in his top 8. I always had the faith.
Hang on, Adam first. Adam like first or second. I just said the other week they're just not playing good enough football. They haven't clicked yet. They're losing me a bit. I did.
Did you though?
Yeah, my top 8. Yeah, I had him in my top 8. I just said a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think you did.
The Warriors?
You had him in the top 8. You said you had him first.
No, that must mean I had Brisbane first. I think I had the Warriors second or third. I think I had Parramatta second. So it's just all fucking doesn't matter. Parramatta ain't finishing second. So
and the Raiders aren't getting the spoon, so don't listen to us.
Yeah, the Raiders aren't in the top 8 though. Still, they won't play finals football.
I agree with Adam on that one too.
Yeah, like that. You can't judge tonight. That was against a reserve grade standard team. But
we'll all be fighting for 10th.
Back to the Warriors, just quickly. They finally looked to click the other day against South Sydney. So that's where they need to go from there on. They have been ordinary so far. Everyone has to admit that. Obviously, they've won some games, but they haven't been great. They're looking better. I'd love to have one of their backup 5'8s to come play 7. Like the fact they got Timur and CHN there, like or whatever. Harris, give me any of them. But
CHT, yeah,
they're a top 14. They'll finish top 4 now. As I said at the start of the year, nothing.
Too many acronyms.
Bring up.
Shout out to my Supercoach team. Sean Johnson was literally the only good thing I've done in the last 2 weeks. So credit.
Did you captain him?
Because
I captained him against the Knights, and then I took the captain off him this week, and he scored 117.
Yeah. Why did you trade Ponga? Honestly,
because he was doing shit and he was losing money. So I had him to Teddy, which for the first week was great because Teddy scored like 110 or something, and I was laughing, and Ponga hardly scored anything. And then since that, Ponga's just absolutely killed it, and Teddy's now not playing. So
and Teddy went to sleep.
I think I'll get Ponga back in the team. I'm going back to you.
Teddy found himself in his matchups. We didn't talk a lot about that Knights game. Like, I just want to I don't give the Knights a lot of rap, but we talk about dumb game plans and no game plans. The Knights played the perfect wet weather footy. It was boring footy. Good. It was boring footy, good. But they just rucked it out of their end, one out, tucked the ball, secured it, and where I was sitting was where that grubber, they put the grubbers in the first half. And it was literally, there was piles of water at the start of the game. Up the other end, there wasn't as much water because the Dragons never came out for a warm-up. They must have warmed up in the sheds, which is just dumb straight away. If they did come out for a warm-up, it was very brief.
They warmed up at all.
Yeah, they still haven't warmed up. But like those piles of water that Newcastle were grubbing, it was the perfect game plan. So credit there. And you expect someone like Ben Hunt to have a better game plan than what they did putting those bombs up, like way off.
He had a shocker. He had a stinker. There were so many missed kicks that he was putting up, but what it was, like the Knights just looked like they were having fun. Like that was just your park footy. That's what you do with your mates on a rainy day. You go down and you kick the ball in the puddles and you pretend like you're scoring tries. You're saying legitimately what it looked like.
You're saying they're playing like a bunch of reserve grade park footballers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but they still beat the Dragons, so it's okay. They still won.
I actually
reserve graders.
When I saw, because I actually
Safidi's had a better game too.
I work like, I don't know, less than a kilometre from that ground. And when it was raining that much, I changed my tip to Dragons because I thought a Flanagan coach team, tough, wet weather, with Hunt in his kicking game, I thought they'll get over this in a close one because it was like, I don't think people understand how much rain there was unless you were there. And Newcastle did exactly what I thought Dragons would. They did it to perfection, like tip of the hat. It was so smart and so well done.
We had some really nice inclusions this week too. So Thompson and Gagai were instrumental, and we missed them last week dramatically. So they had really good games.
Oh, is that it? Is that all you got?
I just want to keep
going there.
Yes.
No, please. Don't continue on the conversation at all.
Can we just go back to the flashback, Jeremy, of your dad?
Knight's good, Dragons bad.
Hang on. That question that's up. I wanted to go to that question too.
This is actually still live, guys. He still hasn't been able to.
He's still there, Dad. You can go home. Dad, you can go home now.
He's just doing a slow clap. He's going to sit there all week just going like this.
He'll be there till Thursday.
Mika,
that's when we're back.
Mika, you wanted this question, so here you go. You can attack it. Take it for us.
Absolutely a try. I'm so happy they finally got one of those calls right. The ball went back. Just because you drop the ball doesn't mean it's an automatic knock on. And I'm sick of seeing knockbacks called knock ons and they never get looked at properly. It's insane how many happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Say it
it's
again.
so good.
You know,
louder.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but they need to be consistent with it because I'd argue then tonight's one with
It's like every
Gutho
rule.
was actually a knockback. If we're being like, it was very, very similar. It was off the guy's head. The guy's head was the thing that freed the ball out, and all Gutho's hands and that were moving backwards. Obviously, made no result, no difference to the result, but they've got to be consistent with that because I reckon any other bunker would have said no try to that
Do you
man.
want me to say it
that's how
again?
inconsistent.
All us fans want is consistency in the game. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I just want consistency.
won't
It's
get
the
it.
I
C
think-
word. You can't say it.
No, I think the worst thing out of the Eels Raiders game tonight
See you
was
next Tuesday.
that kick that then bounced up and hit Gutho and they ruled a dropout. And then you clearly hear the ref say they've reviewed it. It's a dropout. While the replay is showing the ball on the line before it hit Gutho. So what were they reviewing? How did they review that wrong? If there's not a question over that one that was so blatant, and again, it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but that was so obvious and blatant when the referee's on audio going, yeah, they reviewed it, it's a dropout, while the picture is showing the ball on the line. It was insane.
Chris, shout out to, I'm loving watching the Dolphins and everything they're about this year so far. I don't think they're the next team up to challenge Penrith, unfortunately, this year, though. I think they're still a little bit off. One thing I will say and give huge credits to is their young halfback Katoa, who pulled back the curtains a little bit. I think it was round 2 in the chat. Adam was feeding him in our chat and was saying, this guy, what's he doing? I know he's young, but he's got no idea and stuff. He's come out. He's played probably his 2 best games so far in the last 2 weeks. So, Adam, can you issue a public apology to Isaiah Katoa, please?
Fuck no, I encouraged him. You're welcome. I've inspired him. And the Dolphins fan that's commenting, if there is one, should thank me for that. All I've got to say.
Look,
Dylan Brown, you're fucking useless.
Things up,
You've been
baby.
absolutely shit. Who else do I need to bag out? I can't bag out the whole 1 to 17 in one friggin' podcast. That's for sure. It won't work.
oh, hang
You
on.
can do
one
that on
last-
Tuesday
we
night.
always like to end on these ones. Jez, we'll go around the group here. Lamb chops, boys, mint sauce or marinated?
It's been about 6 years, but I always went marinated, and there's a plum marinated lamb chop. That was pretty good.
Oh, Mika?
Mint sauce can get in the bin.
Hang
Yes,
on.
I agree.
You eat mint chocolate. You're the only person in the world that eats mint chocolate.
I
So
love
you're
mint
bagging out mint.
Nah, mint chocolate's good. The Aero, like the
Mint
Aero
slice,
chocolate?
the
slice?
peppermint,
Oh. Yeah.
the peppermint magnums. Love that shit. Mint sauce
Yeah.
in the bin.
Yeah. Say it again.
Before I comment,
Mint
on
sauce
this, just like to
in
let
the
everyone know, so I don't cop shit on Wednesday night. I'll be taking a leave of absence on Wednesday night. I need a week away from footy. No, I've actually got something on Wednesday night, and I can't attend the live show. So apologies, guys. I know you'll miss me and bag me out in the comments. Andrew, don't worry. I'll see you soon. And I am a marinated.
Jez, get a photo ready for Wednesday night. We'll need to actually bring one up of a live shot of Adam in a comparison. I'm going the marinade as well. Absolutely love the marinade. I'm a bit not a big fan of the mint sauce, but I love my mint chocolate as well. Aero is up there as top tier for mine. So, guys, it was always going to be a huge episode. So I thank everyone for coming on. I thank the boys as well. One last thing, obviously, we've got the subscription page open now, the subscription group. So just a bit more behind the scenes footy talk from myself, League of Inches here as well. Just more footy talk for all you big
Dick pics.
footy lovers.
Pics.
Yeah. You might get a couple of nudes at certain points, depending on the night, quickly deleted. But it's literally $1 a week, so $3.99 a month, just to help support the page a bit more, help to make sure our shows are as good as they can be, continue to improve equipment, things like that as well, and just to help get the League of Inches brand out there a bit more. So a better way to just say a bit more of a thank you financially for us, just to help us move forward. But again, everything else will still stay the same. Everything will be free. The content, etc., but just that's an extra way to go about things. So thanks, boys, for jumping on. I hope you all had a massive weekend, a good weekend, apart from us Parra fans who are now probably going to drown our sorrows and hopefully have a sleep. But I remember last weekend I couldn't sleep after that loss. So Let's see how we go tonight. See you, boys. See you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.